All right. Shalom. I want to continue this biblical questionnaire for you brothers and sisters who may run into these lost souls who believe that Cornelius is an Israelite. Let me just make sure I'm up real quick. Yeah, I think I am. There you go. Like I told you, I've done this many times. Every once in a while, I do a refresher. And I pick up on new things, too, to further prove that Cornelius wasn't an Israelite. And it's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. It really is. But let me get myself set up. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. I had a pretty good Sabbath. And I'm ready to start the week. But anyway, get the chat up. Just bear with me a moment. Get that going. Let me put this up. I don't know why this is so hard for certain people, but well, I do understand why it's hard, because when you, quick refresher, when you come apart on the parts where the Most High is dealing with the Gentiles, this totally causes brothers to freak out and have a meltdown. They can't deal with that part, and I'll deal with that in the last part. And those of you who are familiar with me or my videos, I already touched on that already, but I'll go through it real quick. But a quick catch up as far as what we discussed yesterday. Just bear with me a moment. I'm just still trying to get myself together. Get that. Just bear with me one moment. All right, I'll be right with you. I'm a little stressed for time. I just got out the gym, so I just got out the gym a little while ago. Put some background music in for this second part. Right there should be cool. Anyway, the subject matter and what's on the table is was Cornelius an Israelite? And this has a lot of the camps in division, a lot of the brothers in division. And my thing is put questions out there and see if they get answered. I did a video yesterday. You could look it up. Feel free to look it up if anyone is unawares that I put up a video. Study the video and then question people. Throw this to all the believers. To all the believers who believe that Cornelius is an Israelite, can you answer those questions I posted up yesterday? Can you answer those questions? I doubt it, because I've been doing this since 2005, maybe 2005. But answer those questions. Like I said yesterday, the majority of brothers, when you question them and you are very detailed in your questioning of Cornelius being an Israelite, you'll have to know the history. I have this book that says such and such. And the most famous one is, are you saying the Gentiles can be saved? I'm not saying that. I don't believe the Gentiles can be saved. I don't believe that. Some brothers are going to still run with that. I don't believe that. But that's what you usually get. Or you'll get word salad, verses, and precepts. Precepts that has nothing to do with the subject matter. Israel was balled up and confused, and Israel this, and what about this Roman centurion? You'll get all that crap, but you will not get the truth. Questions is on the last video. I'm going to give you a refresher back. I'm going to jump back and just touch on a few things. For example, let's just go back a little bit. Let's just refresh so people can catch up as far as what the questions were. Let me see right here. Just bear with me a moment. I'm going to go through it real quick, and then I'll go to my next question. Because they're not going to be able to answer any of these questions, in my opinion. In my opinion, they're not going to be able to answer any of these questions. But maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fool. Maybe I'm just a fool. But let's go back to Acts 15, because that's where we left off yesterday. And in the book of Acts, the 15th chapter, and I'm just going to get to the meat of the matter. It's there was a council between the brothers and the leadership of Israel, and they were trying to figure out what to do with these Gentiles that the Lord was dealing with. Now, the other brothers, they say that these Gentiles are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, in a Gentile frame of mind. But the scholars seem to see things differently, as well as me and a lot of brothers. We see things different. We don't see these as Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. We don't see that. So what I did, I went to the 10th chapter with Cornelius and Peter dealing with Cornelius, whereas brothers think that that's an Israelite. But when you fast forward to the 15th chapter, because besides Cornelius, there were other Gentiles mentioned in Acts the 10th chapter, as well as the 15th chapter. So when you go to the 15th chapter of Acts, they have this meeting on should these Gentiles be circumcised? Brothers believe it to read, should these Israelites who are in a Gentile frame of mind, who are uncircumcised, be circumcised? But here's where I have the problem. Here's where I see a problem. In the 15th chapter, it says, let's go right to the 14th verse. It says, Simon has declared how God, the Most High, at first did visit the Gentiles. Now, are these Israelites? Or are these just plain old Gentiles? Again, it says Simon. Let me see. That's big enough, right? Let me make it bigger for you so you can see it better. Make it a little bigger. Let me go back down to the 14th verse. It says, Simon has declared how God at first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them, the same Gentiles, a people for his name. So are these Israelites or are these Gentiles? 15th verse. And to this agreed the words of the prophets. Listen. 15th verse again. And to this agreed the words of the prophets as it is written. So where is this written? That's the key. Where is this written? So it's written in the book of Amos in the Old Testament. So we jumped from the New Testament and we jumped to the book of Amos in the Old Testament, the 9th chapter, in the 11th verse, and this was where the question was. Amos 9, verse 11. Let me make sure I'm there. There you go. No, he was not. And if he was, I'm talking to this brother here, you're incorrect. Because if you believe that Cornelius and the people that's being mentioned in the 15th chapter was talking about Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, I'm gonna go back there again. If you believe that this is talking about Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, let's go back to Acts the 15th chapter. This is a question for you. And I guarantee you these brothers never answered this question, because I've been dealing with this since 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. I've done over 8 videos on the subject. Over 8 videos. And they always give you word salad, and at the end of the day, they say, this brother believes the nations can be saved. This brother believes Esau can be saved. But now, if Cornelius was from the northern tribes of Israel, answer this question. I'm gonna go back to Acts. Acts 15, verse 14. Simon has declared how God at first did visit the Gentiles. Who are these Gentiles? This brother and a host of other brothers in camps and schools teach that this is talking about Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. Simon has declared how God at first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name. Let's read on. 15th verse says, and to this agree the words of the prophets. What prophets? The prophets in the Old Testament, specifically Amos. As it is written, where? Not in the New Testament, in the Old Testament. 16th verse. After this I will return, which is in the Old Testament, he's quoting, and I will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, in the Old Testament. And I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up in the Old Testament, he's quoting. 17th verse. That the residue of men might seek after the Lord in all the Gentiles. You said that these are Israelites. And all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things. So you're saying in the 17th verse, these Gentiles are Israelites. You're saying in the 14th verse, in the same New Testament, Acts the 15th chapter, the same Gentiles are Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind. This is a quote from Acts the 10th chapter. Understand? This is a quote from Acts the 10th chapter when you read the whole chapter of Acts the 15th chapter. He's quoting Acts the 10th chapter, or they're referring to the Gentiles rather in Acts the 10th chapter. So now let's go to the quote, because again, the quote is here. I'm going to read it one more time, then we're going to go there. The 17th verse. That the residue of men might seek after the Lord in all the Gentiles. Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind. That's what you believe. I believe they're Gentiles. Upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things. Let's go to the quote now. Amos 9, verse 11. Because you have to explain to me, why is this saying what it is saying, if I am wrong? All right, I'll deal with that later. We did that. You go and read yesterday's video. Watch yesterday's video. We did that already. It don't matter. It don't matter because Acts the 10th chapter is being mentioned in the 15th chapter. Peter is going over what happened in the 10th chapter, in the 15th chapter. They both say Gentiles. You believe that both chapters are talking about Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. So answer this question. Answer this question. You see, this is where the word salad and the confusion comes in. Because both chapters is talking about Gentiles. Are you saying that Gentiles in the 15th chapter are not Israelites in this Gentile frame of mind, as well as Acts the 10th chapter? You claim that both are Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind. In the 15th chapter, he goes further about the Gentiles, and he sends you to Amos 9, verse 11. Let's read that now. In that day, I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. We read that in the New Testament. And close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins. We read that in the New Testament. And I will build it as the days of old. Now here it comes. Pay attention now. That they may possess the remnant of Edom. We know that Edom will be possessed. Edom is not an Israelite. Unless you think the Edomites here are Edomites or Israelites called Edom in a Gentile frame of mind. That's the only thing I can think of. But clearly Edom is not Israel. Clearly Edom is not Israel in a Gentile frame of mind. And all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. We read the same thing in Acts the 15th chapter. We read the same exact thing in Acts the 15th chapter. Acts 15 verse 17. That the residue of men might seek after the Lord. And all the Gentiles. It don't say heathen here. It doesn't mention Edom here either. But it says the Gentiles. Instead of the word heathen, it has the word Gentiles. And all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, just like in Amos, saith the Lord who doeth these things. Back to the 12th verse in Amos 9, verse 12. Let's read it again. That they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen, and all the Gentiles, and all the heathen, and all the Gentiles. It simply replaced the word Gentile, and put heathen here. And all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. So clearly, this is talking about the same thing, and it's talking about us possessing the Gentiles. It's talking about us possessing the heathen. It's talking about us possessing Edom. So here's the big question. How can these be Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind? That was yesterday's question. You understand? Let's go to what the scholars say. Again, let's go back to what the scholars are saying. Let's go there real quick. Because you got to answer the questions. You got to stop with, you got to know the history. You got to know this and that. You got to know the Romans were the Romans had Israelites in their armies. You got to stop with that nonsense. It's not going to fly, because you know what's going to happen? Somebody like me is going to slow you down one day. They're going to slow you down, and they're going to question you just like I'm questioning you now. They're going to slow you down. And that's exactly what's going to happen, man. And that's what's happening now. These Christians, they know your doctrines. You know how? Because a lot of brothers who lost faith and left the faith, they know your breakdowns. And they know the garbage ones, and they know the truthful ones. And you're going to look real stupid when you just keep using these word salads and these lies and these Jedi Hebrew Israelite mind tricks. It's not working anymore, because we're coming close to the end. And you're lying. You're lying. You're teaching a lie. You're teaching a lie. Bottom line, you're teaching a lie. Let's see what the scholars say now. Thus, the Most High says not one is good. We're not talking about that yet, though. Answer the question. See, this is the game they play. This is how you get them. Answer the question. Forget about Cornelius. Cornelius was a devout man. Heathens can't be devout. We're not talking about that yet. We dealt with a little bit of that yesterday, but we're not talking about that yet. This is where they try to confuse you and make you go somewhere else. Answer that question. How is Amos 9:11 and Acts 15 verse 14 the same? And clearly in Amos, the Old Testament is talking about heathens, and the Most High even threw Edom in there. How can it be Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind? That would mean that Edom would be an Israelite in a Gentile frame of mind. That would mean that the heathen in Amos 9 verse 11 would be an Israelite in a Gentile frame of mind. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Stop trying to go somewhere else and deal with what's on the table. Answer the questions. Acts 15 verse 14 states that Simon Peter has described how God first visited the Gentiles to take out a people for his name. He's quoting Acts the 10th chapter. Like, you wanted me to go to Acts? He's quoting it. Peter is quoting it. And he's telling you what went down there. This verse is part of the account of the Council of Jerusalem. Remember I said there was a meeting? Remember that? Where James used Peter's testimony to support the argument that Gentiles are saved by faith in Jesus. Check that out now. That key word, saved by faith. I want to show you something real quick, because if I'm going to use in tomorrow's video, I want to show you something in tomorrow's videos, because these fools are teaching that Romans 11 chapter are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind too. That don't make no sense. That makes absolutely no sense, because when you go to the first verse, and you a lot of you contradict yourselves because you use the same things in other subjects that contradict what you are teaching and saying. That's what you do. You use the same things in other chapters and forget what the hell you were saying. Look right here. In Romans 11 verse 1, it says, I say then, has God cast away his people? Is God talking about all his people? Or is he talking about just the southern tribes of his people? I say then, has God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul is saying he was from the seed of Abraham, and he's an Israelite. So are the northerner tribes, aren't they of the seed of Abraham? Are they not of the tribes of Israel? Are they not of the nation of Israel? But when you read down further, these brothers will say, well, the Gentiles here are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. That don't make any sense. I'm going to prove it. Second verse. God has not cast away his people. Is he talking about part of the nation? The northern part of the people? The southern part of the people? The southern or northern part of the nation? Or is he talking about the whole nation of Israel? God has not cast away his people, which he foreknew. He's talking about the whole nation. What ye not, what the scripture says of Elias, how he has made intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed the prophets, dig down the altars, and I am left alone that they may seek my life. So Israel always hated the prophets. They wanted to kill the prophets. But my question is this the whole nation, or this is just a northern nation, northern part of the nation, or the southern part of the nation? That's dumb if you're saying that these are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind in the chapter. Now, remember earlier, I showed you how they were grafted in by faith, the Most High said. We're not brought and saved by the Most High just through faith. We're saved through the Most High because the Most High made a contract between him and Israel. He made a covenant between the children of Israel. Israel is not saved by faith. He made a covenant by Israel. Faith is important, don't get me wrong. But the point is, the Gentiles that's mentioned in Acts the 15th chapter, the Most High mentions them being saved by faith. The Most High mentions. Let's go back there if I can find it. Jumping all over the place. Where is it? I think it's here. Let me see if I can find it. I lost it now. But the point is, when the Most High speaks to the Israelites, the heathen in the 15th chapter, they're just brought in through faith, man. Through faith. We're the natural branches. We're the natural people of the Most High. You understand what I'm saying? But clearly this is talking about heathen right here. Again, one more time in the 16th verse in Acts 15. Maybe I'll stumble onto it again. It says, after this I will return and I will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build the ruins thereof, and I will set it up again, that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon which my name is called, saith the Lord Yahweh, who doeth these things. So it's not talking about no damn Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. That's just pure dumb, man. That's just being pure dumb. Back to what the scholars have. The scholar says in Acts 15 verse 16, where are we at? Make sure that's it. Yeah, Acts 15:16 quotes the prophet. It says, look, check it right here. Acts 15:16 quotes the prophet Amos. Again, Acts 15:16 quotes the prophet Amos. So if Acts is quoting the prophet Amos, and the prophet Amos is clearly talking about the Gentiles, who are the Gentiles in Acts the 15th chapter? Who are the Gentiles or the heathens in the book of Amos 9 verse 11? They can't be Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. If they are, prove it to me. Prove it to me. All you got to do is prove it. But stay within this chapter. Or find a link that relates directly to what we are discussing, what's on the table. They never do this part. They never do that. They go around, they say this history and this Roman and this centurion. And that's why he wanted me to go to Acts about devout men. That's why he wanted me to go there. And this is what they do. This is the mind games they run on you. And some are genuinely confused. Not all of them are running game. A lot of the brothers are genuinely confused. They don't know what's going on. They genuinely confused. Shalom out. Shalom. But the brother Dolomite, answer that question, brother. Or anybody, answer that question. Or the link is in this chat. You know, the link is there. Hit the link and show me I'm wrong within the chapter. Maybe I'm missing something. You understand? I'll go back there for you if you want, if I have enough time. But that's all you're going to... You know why you're telling me to go there? Because you can't handle what's here. You can't handle what's here. And I've told you, I've been doing this since 2006, 2005. And you can't handle what's here. That's the problem. Why am I going to go there? I'll go there because you're going to show a devout man. See, they can't be Israelites today. The devout is there. That's dumb. You're going to tell me, like I put in the chat the other day, in the history of the world, there's never been a devout heathen? You're going to tell me today, even today, there's no such thing as a devout heathen? That's stupid, man. And again, I got to say this because the idiots are out there. I'm not saying the heathens could be saved. I'll close out tomorrow with that and back that up. I'm just simply saying, can you prove this to be wrong? That's what I'm questioning. Acts 15:16 quotes the prophet Amos stating that God will rebuild the fallen tent, meaning house, of David, so that the remnant of mankind and all Gentiles can seek the Lord. This prophecy was cited by James at the Jerusalem Council to explain God's plan to include the Gentiles in his kingdom without requiring them to follow all the Mosaic laws. This is what I want to, this is my next subject right here. There was a beef on what are we going to do with these heathen in regards of the Mosaic law. The laws weren't given to them. So what are we going to do with these heathen concerning Mosaic law? A decision made to resolve a dispute between Jewish and Gentile believers. What are we going to do? That's what they say. That's what they're questioning. Go a little bit more on this right here. The prophetic quote, the verse is a direct quote from Amos 9:11-12. It was used by James in the New Testament to demonstrate that God's plan had always included the Gentiles. I don't know about that part, but you right there. My thing is, my focal point is the Gentiles. That's my point right there. Now, here's the thing. Now, if in Acts, the 15th chapter, let's go back there. This is my next question. I just rehashed yesterday. This is my next question, and I doubt if any of these brothers are going to answer this question or if they see this video. I got a small channel, but I'm sure some brothers who believe this garbage is seeing what's going on. You understand? So let's say that these Gentiles in Acts, the 15th chapter, let's say that they were Israelites in Gentile frame of mind. What about this? What about Acts 15 and Amos 9:8? You see how they trying to go to this? What about Joel 3:6? Read it. Read Acts 10:1. You see how they trying to go back to these other verses? You see how they try? They will not answer this question. So usually when you don't have the answer, you say, well, you got to know the history. You got to read some books. You got to know there were Israelites in the Roman centurion armies. They will not go here. They will not answer these questions. And this is my second question. I'm about to go into my second question. The kingdoms, listen, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He will not touch this. Two kingdoms are the tabernacle of David that has fallen down because of the split. Okay, let's say hypothetically that's right. What does that have to do with what we're talking about? How can you prove in the tabernacle that's fallen, that's mentioned in the Old Testament and the New Testament, that those are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, when Amos clearly shows you that they're talking about heathen Gentiles? When the scholars clearly show you that they're talking about heathen Gentiles, how can you just go right over that? Why won't you explain what I am going into that is incorrect? Why can't you prove that the Gentiles in the 15th chapter of Acts are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind? Why can't you prove that in Amos 9 verse 11 and 12 that those are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind? Why can't you prove that? Why are you jumping all over the place? You know why? Because you don't have the answers. You've been taught this lie for so long, you can't let it go. You can't let it go. You understand? I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Don't think I'm mad at you. I'm just simply telling you to open your mind, open your understanding, and stop bending and twisting the scriptures. Here's my next point. Let's say hypothetically that these Israelites in Acts the 15th chapter, which these brothers believe are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. Now remember, a council was called on how to deal, let's go with their side, how to deal with these Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind who are now coming into the fold. They came to a conclusion, how they're going to deal with these Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. That's what they're saying. I'm saying it's Gentiles. 18th verse says, known unto God are all his works from the beginning of the world. So I'm in Acts 15. Sorry. Wherefore my sentence is, he's saying, this is my sentence, this is my solution to the problem. In other words, that we trouble them not. Stop putting pressure on these Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, or Israel or Gentiles. That we trouble them not, which from among the Gentiles are turned to God. So, damn. So he's saying we trouble them not. So that don't fit an Israelite in a Gentile frame of mind. Look at it this way. Picture all these brothers celebrating Easter, all these brothers celebrating Christmas, all these brothers doing the things of the Greeks, doing the things of the white man, doing the things of America. If they come into the fold, are we going to say, don't trouble them not? We're going to give them special laws because they're Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. They don't understand God's laws. Does that even make sense? Think about that. Does that even make sense? That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. But in this agreement that they're coming to, let's read it again. It says, wherefore my sentence is that we trouble them not. You say it's Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, which from among the Gentiles are turned to God. So these Israelites that you're saying are in a Gentile frame of mind have turned to God. I'm saying these are heathens who have turned to God. 20th verse. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions. This is the agreement. We're going to tell these Israelites, according to you, these Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, according to you, brothers, we're going to tell them to abstain from idols and from fornication and from things strangled and from blood. So that don't sound right. If we got the laws, we're supposed to show our people the laws, statutes, and commandments. How does that even make sense? Yeah, here we go. Let me see what this guy's saying. That don't even make sense. Hey, Shalom, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, my friends?
All right. Do you hear the question that's on the table?
Can you repeat the question again?
The question is, in Acts the 15th chapter, this was yesterday's question actually. In Acts the 15th chapter, it talks about Gentiles. A lot of brothers, possibly you, I'm not sure. A lot of brothers think that these Gentiles in Acts the 15th chapter are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. But in the same book of Acts the 15th chapter, they quote how God dealt with the heathen in Amos 9, verse 11 and 12. And the Lord clearly calls them heathen, not Israelites. So the two coincide. How can Acts the 15th chapter call these people Gentiles, and in Amos 9, verse 11, they're called heathen, pertaining to Gentiles in the other chapter? Which is it? Are these Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind? If it is, can that be proven in the quote?
Okay, so my question would be to you, if you don't mind.
If you're going to ask a question, stay in the subject matter. Don't say, well, what about this verse and that verse and what about the Roman history? Stay within the two chapters. Can you do that?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to know, well, depending on how you interpret it, of course, some people interpret it differently, but why is that important anyway?
Because lately, I'm gonna tell you why. Because lately it's been coming up on a higher level than usual. Usually I just leave it alone or I do a video. And I don't know if you heard me, but I've done several videos on the subject since 2005, 2006. So lately it's been a problem and it's even causing some division. But it's not difficult to understand or figure out. It's not difficult or hard to figure out at all. So my question is, if in the book of Acts, the 15th chapter, it says that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth these things. You see that? So You see that right there. So who are these Gentiles here in the 17th verse? Are these Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind, or are these Gentiles, regular Gentiles?
Well, to be consistent, if we're going to go with the storyline of the scriptures, with you dealing with the Old and New Testament, or the whole Bible, should I say, that would be that would be talking about because see, to be consistent, the Most High is coming. He's all about his own people. The God of Israel is about his own people. So to be consistent with interpretation and subject matter, I think that would be talking about Israelites who maybe possibly living like Gentiles or have a mindset of Gentiles, although they don't know they're the Israelites, but they're living like Gentiles or something like that. That's just to be consistent.
Okay.
I understand.
No,
You say you don't agree with that?
okay, fair. That's fair, but that's not how the Lord works. The consistent part that you're talking about, unless you.
Well,
but let's say you believe that those are the Gentiles mentioned there in that verse is talking about Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. Now, mind you, he's quoting Amos, the 9th chapter, the 11th verse. Now we're going to go there. It's going to say the same exact thing. 12th verse. That they may possess the remnant of Edom. Edom is a heathen. You agree?
yes, Edom, it would be considered a heathen, but everybody is considered a Gentile, depending on how you use that word.
No. Let's stay with and see, you're doing what I said that y'all do. You're trying to go somewhere else. You're deflecting. Let's stay in the subject. We went to Acts, the 15th chapter. I had it on the screen. It was clear as day. I'm gonna go back again there. Acts 15 verse 17. That the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called. You said these are Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind.
I think he's talking about the residue of, when he's saying the residue of men, that's just as equal as saying the Gentiles right there, which is talking about Israelites who are living in Gentile lands.
Okay, whatever you want it to be. You understand?
No, I'm not fighting for it or against it. I'm saying
listen to what I'm saying.
That would be my understanding.
Listen to what I'm saying. 16th verse is definitely quoting from Amos. After this, I will return and I will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down. That's what the Lord is saying. He's going to build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down. In the Old Testament, the 11th verse, in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. See, same thing. Go back to Acts the 15th chapter. We're going to go back there again. 16th verse again. After this, I will return and I will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build it again. I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up. See that? So he's quoting Amos. He's clearly go back to Amos. Amos 9 verse 11 again. In that day, I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and I will close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as the days of old. 12th verse. That they may possess the remnant of Edom. So we know Edom is not an Israelite in a Gentile frame of mind. And all the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord. Who are these heathens? Are these Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind too? Can't be both. Because clearly,
can you read that in the Septuagint or another translation?
You do that if you want. I'm not.
Because
come on. This is ridiculous.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just want to know.
You get that if you want to do that. Or you know what? You know what you do? If that is true, if you're going to read it in that, get it, look it up when you get a chance, copy it, and put it in the comment section, and we'll tackle that.
I just was asking. I didn't know if because I know a lot of Israelites, they use different translations to help them interpret, passages of scriptures more accurately or more.
Well, brother, that I don't. If you can do that, then make me a believer. But the point is, clearly, the scholars, and you don't need to go into the scholars to see if this is true. You don't need to do that. It's clear as damn day. I don't understand what the problem is. Acts 15:16 quotes the prophet Amos, stating that God will rebuild the fallen tent of David, so that the remnant of mankind and all the Gentiles can seek the Lord. So if Acts the 15th chapter is quoting Amos, and Amos is clearly talking about heathen and Edom, Acts the 15th chapter has to be doing the same thing.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I don't know how long you've been in the faith. This is mainly directed at brothers who's been. No, I can't even say that because you got a lot of new brothers who are following what the older brothers are pushing, and what they're saying. We learned this in One West. I don't know if you're familiar with One West and our history.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. I think that a lot of the older camps, like ISUPK, I think they say that. I think they would interpret it more so the way I just said it, and not only that, GMS as well. I think GMS would as well. But hey, you got your own perspective.
The majority of the camps interpret it the way you're interpreting it. The majority of the camps, and they say we learned this in One West. That's a lie. What Ariel taught us in One West was that Cornelius in the 10th chapter got the records. The Lord dealt with Cornelius and opened his eyes to the faith and the truth, so we can have this record after slavery. And that's a goddamn lie too. That's a lie.
Well, I don't want you to be mad at me because I know I'm not an Israelite, but I'm saying I do, but that don't negate the fact that
here's the thing.
I got the right to read the scriptures. The Bible.
Here's the thing, because I got to go back to work soon. Here's the thing, because this is my second part. If our brothers who are in the world are following other ideologies, Greek philosophy, African philosophies, are they not Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind to some degree? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I agree. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. Now let's suppose they come into the faith. Are they supposed to learn the laws, statutes, and commandments in the gospel as well?
You talking about non-Israelites?
No, Israelites. Israelites who are in a Gentile frame of mind. Let's say the glory of the Most High and his son hits them, and now they are believers. Are they to learn the commandments of the Most High?
Yeah, they're supposed to get rid of all the pagan holidays they worship and honor. Yeah, they're supposed to get rid of all that stuff once they learn better. Once you learn better, you do better, like the OPB used to say.
Very good. Very good. In Acts the 15th chapter, it says, check this out. How are they going to deal with these Gentiles? It says, known unto God, 18 verse 15 chapter. Known unto God are all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is, now remember, this is a meeting they're having on how to deal with the Gentiles. You say they're Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind. A lot of camps and brothers in schools say that these are Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind. I say they are heathens. Check out what this says, and you see how it makes sense to believe that they are heathen. Check it out. 19th verse says, wherefore my sentence is, or what he's laying down, how to deal with them, he's trying to say, that we trouble them not. Don't give these Gentiles a hard time. A lot of brothers say these are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. I say they're heathen. But the agreement and the sentence was, we trouble them not. They're in the faith. They see God. Just don't trouble them. Which from among the Gentiles are turned to God. See? So let's move on. 20th verse. But that we write unto them, the Gentiles, that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled from blood. So it seems like they're dealing with this sect with spiritual kid gloves. Because overall, if these are Israelites in the nation, and they're part of the 12 tribes of Israel, they're supposed to learn all of the laws. They're supposed to turn to the laws of Moses and turn to the Most High. Right? Is that correct? Is that not correct?
Yeah, you're supposed to turn to all of God's wisdom.
Yeah, so it seems like they're dealing with these heathen in a special way. That's what it seems like. So that only fits if you were not an Israelite to deal with them in a special way. Let me just read this for you real quick. Another thing from these scholars. Here it says, the council's decision. Remember, we read about the decree that it came with. It says, the council's decision in Acts 15, the apostles and the elders decided it was unnecessary to trouble the Gentiles with the full law of Moses. How does that make sense pertaining to God's chosen people? In Isaiah 58:1, it says, show my people their transgression In Psalms 147, 19 and 20, the Lord said he gave the laws and statutes to the children of Israel. He has not dealt so with any other nation.
I got you, boss man. Watch this. But what I'm thinking is talking about the
Let me just finish this up and I'll let you come because I'm pressed for time also. Instead, they sent a letter to the Gentile believers with specific instructions, not the instructions you would get from a brother or sister coming from out of the world, out of wickedness, into the Most High's fold. Instead, they sent a letter to the Gentile believers with specific instructions to abstain from certain practices like food offered to idols, sexual immorality, eating meats from strangled animals, and consuming blood. So that don't fit no Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind. But suppose you say, well, they was giving laws after. Suppose a brother come and say that. You know damn well what we just read in Acts the 15th chapter. That was clear as day. So my question is, if these are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, not you, brother, I'm speaking to the people outside of you. If these are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, why is the Most High inspiring his spirit on the leadership to deal with these brothers and sisters as if they were dealing with them with kid gloves? 20th verse in the 15th chapter, one more time, and I'll let you make your point, brother. It says, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols and from fornication and from things strangled and from blood. So that's my second question of the day. Why is this written in this format for Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind? Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, when we don't teach that now. We don't teach the brothers who are in the Israelite Gentile frame of mind to abstain from fornication and eating blood or blood sacrifice, whatever is said. We don't teach our brothers and sisters that. And if we ever did, when did it stop? When did that stop? When was that practice done away with? That's what I want to understand. In the history of the New Testament, when did we stop dealing with the Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind to not keep all the laws, but just deal with those specific laws? Where is that in Scripture?
Well, I think, in other words, I think that would be consistent with basically we're not dealing with animal sacrifices. I mean, you're not gonna
say that. It didn't say that though, brother. You doing?
I know, but I'm saying, but we don't practice animal sacrifices.
All of us.
I'm sorry. Israelites don't practice.
You're right.
Animal sacrifice. Excuse me.
But the whole nation doesn't practice animal sacrifice, or just the northern part of the kingdom or the nation doesn't practice animal sacrifice?
I would say the whole nation as a whole of Israelites no longer practice animal sacrifices, for one, because they have Jesus, right? That's one reason. And then two, it's not really necessary. You know, it's many reasons, but it's at least 2-3 times.
I agree with you.
It's vain to be, it's vain to be killing all them animals. That's really vain.
I agree with
when you already got a sacrifice that covers your past, present, and future sins if you repent and turn from your wicked ways, right? So there's no need for animal sacrifices. So I think that's what that's kind of like dealing with. He only gave them, Paul was like only giving them like not just like a brief summary of what you need to be doing. Don't be trying to bring these Israelites who are heathens, who have been heathen, they've been heathenized. Don't try to bring them up under the.
No, that's not saying that though, brother. It's not.
I'm trying to explain it. I'm not saying it verbally saying that. I'm saying
you can't. You can't.
No, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to interpret that.
But it doesn't interpret. Listen to what I'm saying. Look, like for example, right here. It's not you're stretching it because it don't. It's what I'm saying. You're stretching it, and this is why I'm saying, because the Lord deals with us as one whole nation. There's no Israelites and a Gentile. Listen to what I'm saying.
No, I agree with that. The whole nation.
Because they do the same thing in Romans 11. I went through it before you got on, though. I got to get out of here in 5 minutes. In Romans, I'm going to go through it real quick because this is what I'm going to touch on tomorrow. It says, I say then, has God cast away his people? In this chapter, they say the Gentiles. In this chapter, are Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind. But clearly the first verse is talking about all the people. Has God cast away all its people? God forbid, for I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. One of 11 tribes Benjamin falls in. But the Lord is not talking about 2/3 and northerners and northerners versus southerners. That's not true. It's telling you right here. All you got to do is read the first and second verse. And this goes back into what I was saying with you about the sacrifices and so on and so forth. Israel is required to keep all the laws, not things strangled and don't drink blood and bow down to idols. Those are laws too. But the Lord didn't give Israel, because he was in a Gentile frame of mind, now coming into the fold, you have to only follow partial of the law. That fits a Gentile. I can see how that would fit a Gentile.
But honestly, we do only have, I mean, not we, but the Israelites only have to follow partial law, because you don't have to do no animal sacrifices. So
okay, fine. Is that all of Israel that spirit or that law falls on, or just part of the nation?
No, the whole nation do not have to obey.
There you go. But we're not talking. But that's not what's on the table up for debate. They're saying that the northern section of Israel, that falls on them. They're saying that when you see the Gentiles, that's the northern section of Israel, not the southern section of Israel. That's what they've been teaching for years. But here in the 11th chapter of Romans, they say the same thing, but it doesn't make sense, because Paul is speaking on all the nation right here. He's speaking on all the nation.
Yeah, so but what's the big problem? I mean, that's not a big issue, because I mean,
you don't know what's going on probably.
Okay, what I was going to say is that it's not a big issue, because I thought Jesus came to save his own.
We agree with that. The brothers, they agree with that too, but there are certain parts of the Bible, Acts the 10th chapter all the way to the 15th chapter, where every time you see the word Gentile, they're saying that that's talking about Israelites in a Gentile frame of mind, which is untrue. God stepped to the heathen at one point too. Can they be saved? No, I'm not saying they could be saved. I got to keep saying that over and over, because
why step two? So why step two then?
Why what?
I don't think God is concerned about saving heathens who are not Israelites, even if they are righteous. What I mean by that, saving them, he's not into like bringing them under their nation as being.
That's you though. That's you. I'm just simply I'm dealing with what the brothers is going around teaching. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think they're accurate. I think they're not, God, the creator, the God of Israel is not focused on saving heathens or non-Israelites in the sense.
But you're saying what I'm saying. The point is, you're going away from the subject. The subject is, when I asked you who were those Gentiles mentioned in Acts the 15th chapter, you said they were Israelites in the Gentile frame of mind, and I cleared that up with you by going to Amos and showing you what the scholars had. Now, if I'm wrong, then brothers can show me where I'm wrong.
I think the God of Israel is dealing with Israel from the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament, end of the book.
I do too. No.
Even the Gentile, when
the Lord has clearly dealt with the Gentiles too, though.
Not in the same way. Not in the same way.
I agree. Listen, brother, you're preaching to the choir. I agree with you. I'm not debating that. If who's going to get salvation, I'm not debating.
King David did not come the same.
I tried. I just
want to give you an example.
No, you have to give me an example. I understand what you are. I understand what you are saying. I'm simply saying that when these brothers are running around saying, you stumble on Gentile, that's an Israelite in the Gentile frame of mind. You go see this Gentile here, that's an Israelite in the Gentile frame of mind. That's not true all the time. It's not true. And it's gotten so bad. The subject matter is Cornelius, an Israelite. That's what they talk. That's what the subject matter is. You saw the title, is Cornelius an Israelite?
Yes, I would have to say yes.
Cornelius is not an Israelite. I just showed you.
I believe the ISUPK is correct in that interpretation.
What's that?
I believe the ISUPK. I think that's the name of them. I think they correct.
I'm not, brother. I keep telling you. I know that already.
I think I think you're correct. I think you're the one that's not correct on that one. You correct
So
on a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong.
So what? I got 2 more minutes. What makes you think that after everything I showed you, what makes you think that Cornelius is an Israelite?
Because I heard the way I think I don't know his name. His name was Captain something T, and he broke that down. And to me, he broke that down the best
So
way.
What do you remember from what he broke down that has convinced you that Cornelius is an Israelite?
Because he had read some scriptures, I think either a couple of verses above that or beneath that, and then he exposed the fact that it's dealing with an Israelite who was.
All right, bro. Listen, we'll come back.
Don't laugh. He said something about that Cornelius was not an Italian. He was part of the Italian military. That's a big difference.
Hold on real quick, brother. I want to respond to this comment because I got to get off now. Because I was taught that we were taught that Judah and the house of Jerusalem was sold to the Grecians. So we're scattered exactly where Paul wrote to. So what? Yeah, with this that has nothing to do with what I went into, and you're doing what I said you're gonna do. Because what you're gonna do, you're gonna tie this in. See, we were in that area, and that means there had to be Israelites. Cornelius had to be an Israelite. What about the scripture? So what we were scattered into that area. That don't mean that I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the person that put the comment up. That don't mean that Cornelius was an Israelite, brother. The brothers like to go to the history that about the Roman centurions and the Israelites and their armies. That don't make Cornelius an Israelite. You know what the brothers are saying now? They're saying that Ruth was an Israelite because of the land that she was in. That's stupid.
Yeah, I think she was an Israelite. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think so. I'm not shocked that you believe she was Israelite. But the woman at the well, she was an Israelite. Come on, man. What about the scriptures? What about the scriptures? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking in general, brother. What about going to yesterday's video, and this applies to YouTube, brother, and go to today's video and show me how I am wrong. Don't go into no. I'm not talking to you. Don't go into no history. Don't go into no Dianetics and philosophy in the book of Jasher and all this. Go into what I went into. And show me where I am wrong. That's what I want to say. That's what I want to see. He's going to everything. So they were in that seraph. He's going all over the place.
I think King Darius might have been also.
He's just playing around. He's playing around. But
I think King Darius might have been an Israelite.
Look right here. Look right here. Do the history. They don't have the answers. It's always do the history. And I'm waiting for it. So you believe the heathens can be saved? Bakwash? Oh, man, Bakwash. I'm waiting for that. Now he's like, do the history. Because you don't have the answers. That's why. I'm in the scriptures. And you don't have the answers. You've been doing this, saying the same thing for years. Do the history. Learn the books. Get this book. What about this verse and that verse? And the verses have nothing to do with the subject matter. It has nothing to do with the
subject. Don't you want to be consistent? I mean, the God of Israel went down to Egypt to save Israelites, not no heathens. He didn't go to save no Egyptians. So why would
what does that have to do with what does that have to do with my question though?
So the question, it has something to do with your question, and says why would the Most High change his agenda?
So then then go in when you get when I get off, watch the video and prove with the verses I use that they're incorrect based on your theory or your understanding.
No, you correct with your interpretation, but if you use somebody else,
show me your so go in what I put out on this video and show me your interpretation that proves that I am wrong with this.
I told you about
No. All right, I gotta go.
Your interpretation is accurate, more accurate.
Okay, yes, I hear you. Praise the Lord. The blood drippeth and whatever, that's what you want to believe. Believe that. I'm simply saying use the verses I use. I'm simply saying use the verses I use and prove me incorrect. Prove me incorrect. I have a video from yesterday.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
I got a video from yesterday.
That's not fair, though, boss.
I'm gonna mute him. I got a video from yesterday, and I got a video of today. Go in the verses because I'm not gonna let them bring the confusion in. Go in the verses. and show me where I am wrong. That's what I want to see. I want to see where I am wrong. That's what I want to see. Because all you're going to do is go to other subjects and change this subject. All you're going to do is go into the history. All you're going to say is you got to have the books. All you got to do is read the book of Jasher. Oh, you're saying the heathens can be saved. Go into what I went into. If I don't know, I have many pages. They all been taken down. Some is still up. Go in this page. Go way back when I did videos on the same subject. It's the same thing. They never prove anything. They never do. But I'm out. That's just what I'm seeing. I'll do one more part tomorrow. Prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If you got the answers and I'm incorrect, I'll agree that I'm incorrect. But show me how I am wrong. I'm out.